All over Hamilton County, rhinos and the liberal media are losing their mind over this little pink sign. I'll tell you why. It has been my lived experience that the worst sin in Republican politics is telling the truth about an incumbent Republican's voting record. You can do anything else, but don't tell the truth about it. If you go to this website, here's what you're going to discover about David Greene. First, he firmly believes that Democrats should be selecting Republican primary candidates. Not only did he refuse to vote for the resolution supporting the legislation that would have changed this, which is a no vote, after I spoke to the Chattanooga Republican Women a few years ago, he spent 15 minutes with me face to face arguing why having Democrats voting in Republican primaries was a good thing and why it was one of the chief reasons that we were able to take over the legislature and that we needed to keep it. So between his vote and my face-to-face account, you'll have to discover whether the documented trail in my testimony is different than whatever David Greene is saying out there as he goes talking to the Republican groups. Number two, he believes in taxpayer-funded education for illegal aliens. When Bo Watson brought a resolution that would stop this at the school board level, the Hamilton County Republican Party Executive Committee thought it was a good idea, passed a resolution supporting it. Once again, David Greene decided, I can't support that. Sitting in the room, can't support it. It's the same as a no vote. That's an issue that polls at about 85% with Republican primary voters. The previous issue is something that polls at about 90-something% with Republican primary voters. Here's the issue. When your voting record does not align with the folks that you are supposed to be representing, you need to leave. You need to leave office and let somebody else come in and take over. Finally, the guy's only attended about 50% of the meetings that he's supposed to attend. And for a while, he told folks that's not part of his job until Scott Golden, the head honcho over the Tennessee Republican Party, said, no, that's exactly what the job of an SEC member is to be a liaison between the local party and the state party so that people know what's going on. And so it's one thing to do a bad job, which I would say, based upon his voting record, David's done a bad job. He does not represent his constituents. It's another thing to be so bone lazy that you won't even show up to work. And so this is what is called dirty politics. When you tell people the truth about voting records, when you point out that showing up to work might be important and that you ought to be aligned with your constituents. So if this is dirty politics, old Brandon Lewis is in the middle of it because I paid for these signs as an in-kind contribution to Derek Greene. So if you are in Bo Watson's district, that means that you are in David Greene's district. And you don't want the Queen, baby, you want the green. Derek Greene is somebody that I have known for a long time. We go to church together. His kids are over here at the house. I've seen his family up close and personal. Now, that's all well and good, but frankly, I don't care that much about that. I care about policy. David Greene may be a perfectly good person, although based upon his behavior in public and how rude he is, I would say that even decorum is something that David struggles with. But the thing about Mr. Greene, Derek, is that he has two things that David Greene doesn't, and they both start with a B. One of them is balls, the other one's backbone. And that is for standing up for his constituents. Like, he's not going to be a quiet crybaby. He's not going to go up there and his entire reason for wanting to be elected is so that he can stand in a circle of people and harumph and clap anybody with an R beside their name, even if they're stabbing their constituents in their back. He's going to stand by the platform. He's going to make the noise. He's going to try to make the changes, and he's going to represent us well. We don't need to send more queens. We don't need more queens in this position. We need more manly men like Derek Greene. So if you're going out to vote, I know it's a very small office, but the SEC can do a lot if they so choose, and if we get enough conservatives on it, to really correct a lot of the bad behavior from Republicans that we have in the legislature. I mean, if somebody strays too far from the platform, they could, and many have across the nation, strip the Republican designation from some of these lawmakers that are just completely out of alignment with the platform. So as you see these things out here, and you read the liberal Times Free Press, and you see all these harumphing seals that clap with anybody with an R beside their name because they know them, and they'll turn a blind eye to the truth, just know that David Queen's voting record is not good, but Derek Greene will go out there and represent you well. It's your old buddy Brandon Lewis. Go out and vote, and tell your friends that don't know, that don't keep up, that they need to vote for Derek Greene. All right, guys. Love you. Mean it. See you at the polls.